admires his daddy's camera. But we find out that shortly. Allow me, gentlemen, to, welcome you to the studio. Karibuni sana. You look like business tech people.
Thank you.
And I'll allow you to, of course, start us off, say your name, in what position, in what capacity you're here. I like to do that, even though I know your profiles. I love that the viewer also gets familiar with you, like probably hanging out over coffee. So please say good morning and what your name is and why you're here. Karibu.
All right. Thank you, Ankey. Good morning, viewers of Lookup TV, from where you're watching us from in the world. My name is Mutiemule Joseph. I'm the CEO of Solutech Limited. I'm pleased to be in this show today.
Yeah, did you ever keep your dad's camera?
Actually, I have one of the copies.
Yes,
it's like extraordinary Nikon camera from those old days in 1990. Yes.
I can't wait to hear more of how that inspired him into coming up with Solutech. And of course, besides you, sir, Karibu sana.
Asante. All right, my name is Alexander Odhiambo, and the CEO of Solutech, and I'm happy to be here.
Amazing. Now, guys, you have those who have answers and those who will respond to your concerns. If you've had any concerns around and about Solutech, today is the day.
It is the day.
Like I always say, it's extraordinary for a reason. Before we go deeper into why Solutech, what does it do, let's get a bit of the history. First, I know a bit of how you are, interested in technology, the background with the camera and getting to, meet the desktop and computer for the first time at higher institutions of learning. But also, as we continue, I'll get a bit of your background and interest in tech, and then yours, sir, and how you finally get to meet and make this happen. So what's your background? A very, very short summary of who we're seeing today.
I grew up in Makueni. That's around 200 kilometers from Nairobi. Growing up in Makueni, dusty roads in 1990s, it was a spectacular story because I used to see my dad go to Nairobi to produce the film, and I got interested in like how the technology space was coming up. And I was lucky to have been admitted in a high school which actually had computer studies. And this was a game changer for me in terms of being absorbed into the tech space. And joining the University of Nairobi in 2009 was the ultimate ice-breaking story in all this, where now I met Alexander, who is the CEO of Solutech Limited, who's joined me today as well, and Raid, who is also a co-founder. And I think that's the brief story about who I am and my journey into the tech space, especially in Kenya, and meeting up with my co-founders.
Amazing. I like that you brought the aspect of meeting your co-founders, and I want to hear a bit of Alexander's story. His inspiration came from his father, and he didn't know this would actually give birth to what we're seeing today. What was your inspiration?
Oh, well, I think as a child, when you're asked what you want to be, I wanted to be a doctor.
I thought so.
By the way. I wanted to be a doctor. But I don't know if but I loved innovation a lot. Like if you ask my parents, I used to build a lot of these wire toys. We didn't have electricity in our home, I think better part of 1997 to around 2000 and something. So I used to connect bulbs and radio batteries to at least get some light at home. And I think that's where my innovation started. But getting into computers and computer technology was somewhat almost a mistake, because when we were admitted to Form 1 at Ambira High School, I went to Ambira High School.
Great shout out.
Yes, shout out, Mubimba. Yeah, so when we admitted at Ambira High School, you know how Form 1s are confused. There was this guy who had a green games kit. I had a green games kit. The other guy had a blue games kit. I never knew that the guys with the blue were to go to a Form 1 class doing computer studies.
Okay.
And because Form 1s sometimes are confused and follow each other, I followed this guy to his blue class with my green games kit. That's how I became a computer studies student from Form 1 and did it to Form 4.
So after getting there by mistake, you pretty much noticed you were interested, or why didn't you walk out of the class?
I became one of the best students in computer studies.
Amazing. So
yes.
Sometimes destiny is not what you think.
Of course.
You can actually shape it.
Correct.
But okay, let me go into the Solutech, because people are thinking, so what, Ankey? So what if they got themselves into technology? Solutech now, it has come to life. what are we looking at as evolution? Like, you put solutions in technology for a reason. How did you identify the gap? What is the gap? What were you bringing the answer to when you actually founded Solutech?
All right. So on the December of 2014, we spent our Christmas holiday actually brainstorming on how we would start Solutech Limited, because we could see that there's a gap in the market,
All right.
especially for manufacturers, distributors. And we got approached by one of very first client with Africa Industries, and they needed a solution on how to be able to achieve efficiency in their market, how to be able to track what people are selling each and every day. And we spent that holiday actually brainstorming how we can be able to make a solution out of this. And we are lucky enough to have met our business development executive, Mr. Jinal, who is quite experienced in the sales industry. He knows a lot of distributors, his net worth and networks in the industry. And we were able to come up with the first prototype of our solution, which enables manufacturers, distributors to be able to track what they are selling in the field, track efficiencies, to increase their profitability in the market. And that's what enhances their long-term sustainability as well.
Amazing.
Yes. Probably Alexander can add any extra information.
Yeah, sure. This is a conversation.
Yeah.
He can add. Yes.
I think it would be interesting also to just note how it started. I think it's an interesting story for us. So Muti, Raid Arif, who's our CTO, and myself were in the same class in the University of Nairobi. When we finished school, both of us went to work in different places. And there was an opportunity for a mobile developer in where I was working. So I called in Arif, because we used to do group work, class work together. The group works together. So we had that synergy of working together. And at some point, the company needed somebody who could program Samsung TVs. And we thought Muti was very good with that. So we brought him on board. After working in the place where we were working for a number of months, there were financial problems.
Okay.
We went for almost 6 months without salaries. It was devastating. But one thing I remember to date is that we were very committed. We were very committed and very loyal to that business, which keeps driving us till date.
Beautiful.
After all that suffering and looking for jobs, looking for jobs became a job, actually.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The youth can relate.
Yeah, so we looked for jobs for a long time. I remember my father sending me newspaper adverts. Hey, can you try and apply for this? Try apply for this. Maybe it's your opportunity. But I kept telling him, we'll just continue trying with this. So that's when now we met Jinal. We just said one day, we have all the tech, we have all the skills and a bit of ideas that we had been doing here and there. Why don't we start a business? So we had the tech. We had identified Jinal, who was our next door neighbor, who had the networks. We could see the companies. He runs a digital out-of-home company called Ideas Unlimited. So we used to see all these adverts on his screen. So we said, why don't we just get Jinal to be our fourth partner and now blow this thing off?
Amazing.
So that's how we began.
And I like that because, you know, this extraordinary segment helps a lot of, you know, youth, the inspiration, because how many youth have your type of ideas? And what I'm seeing is you knew the power of unity. It became one strong force. And the fact that you could identify people who could actually push this vision is really standing out for me. Now, the fact that you started off, sometimes businesses start, ideas take off, but they collapse. Years down the line, Solutech is still standing, even getting better. I'm sure there are challenges that you have actually seen, encounter, and still are able to counter. What are these challenges?
I would say one of the biggest challenges that we faced from the onset was actually agreeing on what roles and responsibilities and the equity share in the company, which I believe is one of the key decisions, which if you're getting into a partnership with anyone, you really have to be very careful about. And I believe we were able to overcome this by having an equal share in the company. So we are 4 co-founders. Each and everyone owns 25% of the company. And what this does is it makes us to be equal partners in every decision that we make. We're able to respect each other. And we've been able to overcome the co-founder issues. which a lot of companies actually do face
Yes.
from the onset. And those differences can actually make, they can either break or do your company in a way. So that was the initial challenge that we faced. But also initially we faced a lot of challenge in talent. But the good thing about us is we are tech guys. So we not really need to invest in a lot of tech from the beginning in terms of bringing software engineers, mobile
Yes.
devs. We're able to do that on our own,
Oh, nice.
which was quite a good thing because tech talent hiring is quite expensive. And if you have to rely on really getting expensive people to come on board, you really need to raise funds from the onset, which can be a daunting activity to do. We also face a challenge in terms of pricing. I remember the first client we charged actually around 30,000.
I like how you're honest on set. He's pretty much giving us the figures. That was the first client.
Yes, but we realized that we made a mistake because the client kept growing in terms of numbers, and supporting a check of 10 users is not the same as supporting 100 users on a monthly basis. So you will need to invest more in the server resources that you're using.
Okay.
You need to invest more in customer service members to be able to support those users. And I'm glad that we're able to overcome this by strategizing on how to get a good pricing, which can be scalable across Africa.
Across Africa.
Yes.
And you know, one of the things that I wanted to appreciate as you continue to give us challenges, those are just two. One of the things that I wanted to, you to also talk about, even as you're speaking, is these are African innovators giving us solutions to African problems. We're going to be coming to that. That's why you're extraordinary. So these are some of the main two challenges, but you were able to counter and still stand. Would you like to add some? Or the positivity that has come out of the challenges? It's good.
Yeah,
It's good to share.
You know, it's said if you survive for 5 years as a startup, then you have survived. I think we've been very patient. There's a kind of for co-founders to survive. We are 8 years old now, and for co-founders to survive all this time requires a lot of discipline, a lot of respect, requires a lot of friendship also within. So that when you're starting to get 1, 2, 3 other cents on top, you now don't disagree.
But Alexander, is it for sure that you mix friendship with business? As someone once said, do not mix friendship with business, do not mix friendship with business, really. How is that working for you? And he said friendship a little bit. Isn't that tricky? What do you think?
I don't think it's tricky. Actually, I would prefer you do business with friends.
Oh, really?
Yes, as long as there's clear boundaries in terms of the roles and responsibilities of everyone, and you can be able to respect each and everyone, and to know your purpose and what's driving you to do that business, then you can be able to survive the long term.
All right.
But if you come in with your interests, there's what you want to achieve in the business, then maybe exit, you are not honest from the word go to your partners, then it can be a big challenge.
So then honesty comes out also very strongly
Yes,
there.
yes. And I think it's the realization that the business is bigger than both of you. That is the one thing that we stand with.
All right.
Like respecting one another and what you do, what the role of each person's play. And our roles actually came very naturally. We didn't sit one day and select that, hey, you'll be this, you'll be this. We just picked each other's strengths and decided you are going to play this particular role.
Amazing.
Yes.
I noticed you guys are now in partnership with a lot of big companies. If I was to check your profile, I will not mention most of them for branding issues, but a lot of big companies now coming in, trusting your work.
Yes.
And I'm looking at the reception really from the public. Yeah. You know, because these companies just represent the public.
Yes.
But now I want to hear the real deal. You have answered a lot of problems. Please list down some of them so that somebody who's handling them right now in the businesses can actually come to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So our slogan is technology empowering business, and as the title of this segment is extraordinary,
Yes.
we've been able to do extraordinary things in what we call retail distribution. So we work with a lot of manufacturers and distributors, and right now a lot of people in construction, pharmaceutical sector. And in this day and age, making decisions is critical. People want to make decisions quickly, and you want to make correct decisions. One of the key raw materials of making decisions is data.
All right.
That is what a lot of them lack. Right now, you can imagine a cooking oil company with more than 300 salespeople in the field, using motorbikes or using vans or some on foot collecting orders. Cycling. The management might not know if all of the 300 have started working today, how many customers they've seen today, what have they sold, what kind of stock are they still holding at any given time. So this was the challenge that we addressed. A lot of them used to use papers to record all these things. So by the time the management knows what happened in the field, it's quite late. So what we've done is created a mobile solution that these salespeople who are in the field use on a day-to-day basis. In the morning, probably at 8 a.m., you know out of your 400 or 500 salespeople, how many have started working?
Amazing.
How much stock are they holding? What is their target in terms of number of customers they need to see today? What's their target in terms of what they need to sell today? So data is the new oil. And I like a statement that says, in God we trust, everyone else bring data. Right now, a salesperson cannot just walk and say that I did this and this today. Verbally. The data will speak for them. So we are helping these companies collect data in real time of what is happening in the field. Amazing. For their day-to-day and strategic decision-making. There are decisions you would like to make at the middle of the day. Maybe at 12 p.m. you realize such and such a product is not selling well in the Nyanza region. We need to congregate and discuss what's happening. Look at the data and be able to make these kinds of decisions.
I like that, and I'm now curious, now that we're understanding how it works, and now I know all companies are like, okay, we didn't know this was this serious. It is.
Yes.
But someone would ask, then how does this work? Fine, this is what you guys are solving, but how does it work? I know it's an application?
Yes.
Tell us more about the application. I know you can now start looking it up on Play Store, or I don't know, you just start Solutech. But of course, we're coming in shortly after the break to now show you, all right, this is how you search it, this is where you find it, this is how you log in, because it looks basic, but people need to understand. There are also people who are probably doing counterfeit Solutech, if you're not sure.
Of course there are.
There could be. If I just try to, our website will just pop, but we need to know the authenticity. How do you then drive at this, and how does it then coordinate on your phone with the rest of the workers? We'll bring you those details shortly. It's on The Extraordinary, and I hope you're enjoying yourselves, getting informed, and that is after the break. Don't go too far away. Ask as many questions as you possibly can. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Are you looking to turn your passion to purpose? Vera Beauty and Fashion College now brings you online classes at the comfort of your home. We are a TVET-approved institution with over 20 years' experience in training competency-based courses in fashion design and creative arts, cosmetology, hairdressing, beauty therapy, interior design in soft furnishings, event decoration and flower arrangement, hospitality and catering, and training of trainers. To enroll, call us today on 0704 577 577 or visit our website at www.verabeautycollege.com. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, a center of excellence.
Help me identify a beautiful woman. I never came across one till I got to Vera.
Yippee! Kamata floating at 349K. Oh yes, for only 349,000 Kenyan shillings, you become a plot owner at the Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki. The Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki is located along the Nanyuki-Rumuruti Road, only 11 minutes from the Cedar Mall and right opposite Mount Kenya Wildlife Estate. This is the best place to establish the getaway home that you have always dreamt about. For every 349,000 that you deposit or pay as installment towards any of Optiven's plot of land, you get 10K cash back instantly. Jaza basi twende Nanyuki. Bigger is indeed better.
Men are very well organized. No?
Wanawake anasumbua.
Wanawake unajua wako na sijui naweza sema ni nini, lakini wako na kujipenda kiasi. Kwa hivyo unaweza kuwa unambeba anakaa ni kama anataka kuegemea pande moja, lakini mwanaume ukimbeba ametulia, maana ameamini dereva. Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing, amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope you're having a fantastic morning. Today on The Extraordinary, two gentlemen just representing the other two who are the brains behind Solutech and proving the entire world wrong about Africa not having the brains to change the world. Of course, here we go. 4 boys, 4 men now doing amazing things and creating employment for the number of youth still out here saying we are unemployed, and just how they came together. What a spark, what a magnet. You want to know more how they're still together, they're intact, and now people believing in what was just once an idea. Ladies and gentlemen, on Facebook, I can see Donald Aluoch Umeka Moto ni Moto. Thank you very much. Edda Waithaka saying, following from Narok, all the way from Narok. What was Narok? Do you know Solutech? Imefika uko mashinani. Let us find out also. Prince Deno anasema following. Leon Ocholi ameweka moto kama moto. Beth Sheba Oyuga just doing that thumbs up for you guys. Good job. Henry Mwangi following, and PK Stainless amesema volume please. Sasa inamaanisha tunapandisha volume kidogo. Also showing you an illustration of the Solutech. John Mushiri saying so informative, and Richard Kirundi saying learning plenty. Gabriel Nyamu, thank you for sharing insights, and thank you for also waking up your brothers and sisters and telling them that it is possible to have solutions that are Africa-based right here. Gentlemen, thank you for creating time. And we were just speaking, you know, behind the cameras. And before we get into the illustration, you mentioned something about the number of countries that are now coming in and you have spread into with just what you guys thought was an idea to keep you and put food on the table. These are 8 countries. Tell us more about how you guys are in partnership and how they're embracing the Solutech technology. Maybe I'll start with either of you, and you can add.
Good.
Yes.
So right now we are in, I think, around 8 countries. We just got into Ethiopia and Sudan, North Sudan, this year. So Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Sudan, Zambia also. Yes, and all these are big companies, and most of them referrals, to be specific, which has shown you that our work actually has sold itself. Right now is when we want to start getting out here. We've been the best kept secret for manufacturers and distributors. Yes, yes.
You're a leading company, gentlemen. You're a leading company. And I want to hear now from you matters employment. You have employed a number of youth, let me not even keep it as youth, Kenyans, as we're speaking. How many are we looking at? Because job creation has been an issue in this country. To have minds that are now creating jobs with something to celebrate. How many employees are we looking at?
Currently, we have a team of 30, and this would be around 100 people depend on the company on a month-to-month basis. So we are really making a lot of impact in the society in terms of creating jobs, ending poverty. And if you look at even some of our clients, the manufacturers, distributors, by creating demand, they're able to employ more people, and that in a way is also creating employment for a lot of unemployed youths who are out there, and also enhancing their skill set. Actually, last year, I was quite happy to have seen that one of the key requirements which manufacturers are looking in terms of salespeople is then having a skill set in Solutech, SAT, which is the sales automation tool. So that tells you that manufacturers are realizing that for you to be able to do a good job in your sales role, you actually need to have a skill in Solutech. So we think that you are really making a good impact in the society.
I like that you're creating jobs. Alexander, are you doing anything on impacting the knowledge on other people? Because there's a bill that is being passed now, ICT bill. Did you follow that?
Yes, yes.
I wanted to hear your thoughts. Simba has a very strong opinion on it. and yeah, because if it's going to be a requirement, what are you guys doing in terms of now impacting that knowledge? Any mentorship?
All right. Yeah, so Muti is going to talk about the bill in the moment because we've been discussing about it, and he has very strong opinions on it.
Yes.
So on impact, I'll tell you an interesting things on how we've been impacting knowledge into people. So Muti has talked about direct jobs that we've created through the Solutech team, and I'll tell you that in our team we have very young people. Actually, our team comprises of, I think, majority less than 33.
Oh, amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
So those are direct jobs that we've created. But by the use of data that I was talking about, we inform companies, we give them data that now give them insights to know that we need to hire more people. And that is how we've indirectly helped in creating these other opportunities. And in terms of the technology that we're impacting, a number of years ago, I remember for our first customer, we trained a guy who was around 47 years old in Kericho. It was his first time touching a smartphone.
Okay.
He was actually holding it somewhat like this and tapping things like this.
As most would.
Yes.
Yes.
And up to today, the guy is still working for that company and selling using a motorbike. It's some of the exciting stories that I tell the users when we go to train them, that if this guy was able to do it, we were able to do the technology transfer. What about them?
And I like that because I was going to go into how then the person in the grassroots watching today can also benefit. You know, most of the times urbanization has gotten us to just concentrate on watu wa Nairobi, watu wa Kisumu City, Nakuru, and Mombasa City, and other countries for that matter.
Yes.
But this show really is to inspire and also empower those in the grassroots. So we're coming to that, and as far as that is concerned, we want to learn how to actually log in. So you let us know more. But allow me to appreciate Mildred Anekea, just saying Alex and Mutei keep soaring higher. Mildred is saying, good job, Solutech family. I can see here Vince, is it Vince? Musembi saying he's following. Bernard Rono is saying, I know Solutech Limited, currently powering hashtag Ketepa Salesforce and a happy customer. Wow, they are creative and truly a solutions hub. Remy Caroline saying awesome, and Grace M. Nyash just saying awesome. Gentlemen, I'll come back later as we finish on how you're feeling, but we can see from your smiles that you're proud of yourselves.
Very.
But how do we log in? Where do we get this application? Is it accessible? Because as far as if I have Wi-Fi or internet and a smartphone, like you said, can I access it?
Yes. So you can be able to access it, but you need your client or the company in which has Solutech installed on it for you to be able to log in, because we do provide a client code to each and every client. So this is just for scalability, ensuring that you are dealing with proper clients.
Okay.
So the application is available on both Play Store and also App Store. The name is Solutech SAT. SAT stands for Sales Automation Tool. So you can be able to download the app. Then if you have the client code which has been issued by your manufacturer or distributor, you just enter it, then you're able to log into the system. It's a very easy to use system, which, as Alex has mentioned, a 47-year-old who has never used technology before has been able to use it efficiently.
Amazing, and I like that you brought in the aspect of a code. And you know, we're talking about cyber crime today and security for that matter. You mentioned data. And as a client, I want to join you guys, okay, but how sure am I that my data is protected, safe, and I'm not pretty much losing my company to what I thought would be a solution to my problems?
Very good question. Actually, the reason why we are where we are today with our, I think, more than 60 customers right now is because of integrity. You know, many times we can sign on papers that there is confidentiality in terms of your data and all that, but we've kept that. We don't share any, however how much you come with. I think our integrity is the biggest, is the highest currency right now that you can hold. So we don't share anyone's data with anybody. We have formulated policies to give our customers confidence. We
All
work,
right.
we work with one of the best cybersecurity experts, Bright Gameli, if you know him.
A good shout out.
Yeah, to just ensure that we keep everything together. We've had clients who've taken us through very rigorous security assessment processes
All right.
that at least have given us the confidence that we can tell customers that your data is safe and secure, and it can't be, we can't share it with anyone, and it's just to benefit just them.
I'm
Yes.
looking at, does the government recognize you guys?
Does the government recognize us as?
You know, I know where I'm headed at with this, because most of the times
Definitely.
we are importing brains. If you understand, we are, you know, we pretty much don't believe that we have, you know, Alex and Muti, you know, with this kind of minds, the youth who actually create employment. We're going to bring in people from, you know, whichever country you want.
Yes, yes.
And I'm looking at, have you been recognized as, you know, these minds behind Solutech? Where is your position as far as tech and government partnership is concerned?
I don't know if we've.
Oh, you are not interested. You know, I could have
Not
times
really.
youth wanasema, acha ikae.
We are very interested, and you know,
Yes.
as patriotic citizens, and we have to create businesses that are creating jobs. So we are working together with the government.
Okay.
Though there is not a platform that we've been on that recognizes what we are actually doing. But we are Kenyan made, we would tell the government, and we are very good taxpayers. So that's
yes.
just one of the ways that we contribute. Yes, but if there could be more recognition, the better. But we're okay.
You know, you've really challenged most of us, and now he's really quiet, because most of the times the youth have been put on the spot for doing nothing and complaining more. Serikali's idea. You guys are pretty much proof that you don't need that. They can support what you're doing. But Kenyan made, I like that.
Yes.
I like that you came up with that. And of course, I can see Gitata Sui saying, love to hear how Solutech came to be. Great job. You see, people didn't have this history. It's beautiful. Priska Gichuki saying, good job watching from Othaya all the way. Imefika Othaya? Yes. Do you have clients in Othaya?
We are everywhere.
Everywhere.
In the country.
Yes.
We cannot resist.
Yes.
All
We
right.
didn't mention we have more than 6,000 salespeople. At the moment, more than 6,000 salespeople are using the application in the
Yes.
country.
Wow, guys.
Yes.
Isn't that a number? Remarkable, exemplary. It's good to hear. And I can hear Anthony Rono saying, actually asking a question before a very short break. Anthony is asking, how is Solutech different from other, you know, other the SATs or SATs out there, e.g. Salesforce? That's, you mentioned something, but he's
Yes.
asking more, why do you stand out? Why would you say, I'd rather opt for you guys?
All right. So Solutech is not just a service provider. We are your technology partner.
Okay.
We work with you the journey. So we don't just come, give you a solution, then we walk away. No, we give you insights, we advise you, and over and above, we build a solution made in Kenya, the African market, not just the African market also, but also the world. We're able to understand the retail and distribution, all the manufacturers, distributors, and we're able to provide a solution for different route to market strategies, which different manufacturers of course usually use. Yeah.
Amazing. There you have it. He's saying we are just not a one-time experience. We progress with you. We work with you. And who wouldn't want that right now? The world is going technological. What would I say? Modern, digital. So this is actually an answer to so many problems. But we're coming back to the conclusive remarks. Before we do that, I'm going to take a short breather. A lot of questions still streaming in. Be part of the conversation. Use the hashtag #TheMorningDrift. Or Twitter msinimeze. Sijangalia Twitter. But we'll be right back. Don't go too far away.
Get a chance to wake up as a tourist as you view Mount Kenya every day by buying a plot of land at Wema Gardens, Naru Moru. At only 400 meters off tarmac, this is the right place to build your dream home, cottages or holiday homes. You can also buy this property to give to your children as a special inheritance. Water and electricity are in the vicinity, while neighbors are already building their homes. These plots are specially ready for you with title deeds scheduled to be out in 6 months. Buy a 50 by 100 plot of land at Wema Gardens for only 399,000 Kenya shillings. You can also pay for your plot through our friendly 1-year installments plan.
Welcome to Look Up Guest House, Retreat and Prayer Center. When you first come in, we will be happy to receive you at our reception, then proceed to our cozy and well-equipped accommodation facilities. We aim to provide our guests with a unique, comfortable, and worthwhile experience. Here at Look Up Guest House, we provide our guests with a continuous supply of room amenities. A cool environment for all your retreat activities.
Look Up Guest House, Retreat and Prayer Center. For reservation, contact us on info@lookupguesthouse.org or call us on 0746 788 707.
Welcome back. For a long time we said we have our own African problems, but we also have very smart people. When do we get to actually see them? When do we recognize and celebrate our own brains, ideas, and minds? And this is what we do on The Extraordinary. We are about to wrap up this segment. It's been amazing, fascinating, and exciting at the same time. I'm very proud. But we wanted to hear your comments on the ICT bill, because you guys are pretty much immersed in it. What are your thoughts?
My honest thoughts about the ICT bill, which was first introduced in the Parliament by Honorable Odinary in 2016, is that it's retrogressive.
Retrogressive?
Yes.
Okay.
It brings a barrier in the market, because I would understand why you would want to maybe govern the medical industry. But for IT industry, it's quite different. So I think it creates a lot of barrier for entry, because for you to be able to do tech, you really don't need to go into a class. And actually, our head of mobile engineering is a self-taught programmer.
Why would you say that? You were in class. You went through it. He found himself in a computer class. He didn't plan, but he went through some really serious training. Why would you say you don't need a class?
For you to be a good programmer, you really don't need to be in a class. You can teach, yes, you don't need a degree or certificate or anything. You can learn inside your house, inside your room, and you can be one of the best. And actually, most of my friends currently, they're working for international companies, working from their home.
Without papers.
They have never stepped in any university class. So if you want to govern them using an ICT body who have to check who really gets entry into that, then it means that there's a problem in the bill. So I think that maybe they need to look more into it, in what it is for maybe the IT practitioners, and maybe they can be able to maybe amend it correctly. But as it is, I think it's really retrogressive. Hearing from the tech themselves, the wizards themselves, they're saying, we don't need papers, we don't need classrooms. What are your thoughts? I'm sure you group up, you want to attack too. What are your thoughts on the ICT bill? Because we are not looking at losing these minds or suppressing these minds. Well, what they're thinking is to regulate it. But you actually think, no, it's going to be more captivating. It's not going to be a free space for you guys to actually do what you're doing. Let me know what you think. There's more that you do with the SDGs. Yes. You're the man here. When you mentioned the founders and co-founders, I didn't hear of a female, unless I missed a name. Aren't there women in tech, really, that Solutech is also working with?
So we are very big on the SDGs. And actually, yesterday on my LinkedIn, I posted my certificate on completing the gender the gender program. We are committed to 50% of, I think, in each of the departments having female. Amazing. And we actively participate into that. So just apart from gender, we are also looking at We're also looking at technology, innovation in the industry. We're looking at sustainable environment. I think, what are the other two? I don't have all of them in my head.
So we are signatories of the United Nations Global Compact Kenya chapter.
Amazing.
And we report on 5 SDGs. We report on SDG 1 on no poverty. Actually, we track and we're able to measure. We report on SDG 5 on gender equality, on decent work and economic growth, which is SDG 8, on SDG 9, which is infrastructure innovation for manufacturers and distributors, and SDG 10 on climate action, because we're actually reducing the carbon print. Users needed to use papers on the field.
Amazing.
Because we're able to automate the whole chain from order booking to processing the office to delivery to the customer.
Amazing. Guys, I'm going to deviate a little bit. Do you think IBC is going to hack with going all tech for this elections?
I think they're going to.
Are we safe?
We are very safe. Tech is the future.
I wanted to hear that. I wanted to hear that, but of course I didn't want us to delve on that question or actually. But of course I want to say Felix Evans is watching, saying great history there to inspire Kenyans to be innovative. So thank you very much for what you do. Is it Riro or Rairo Cullen? Saying great conversation there. I'm following from Amboseli. And of course, I can see Mildred Omumnya saying love to hear from our CEO, Solutech, Alexander Odhiambo Aluoch. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, because it's extraordinary, there are things about you that people don't get to hear.
Yeah.
They don't see when you're in the tie. So allow me to bring you closer to the morning drift where we have some easy moments. I want to know if what your favorite food is, Alexander, and I want to know if he shares the same with you. Or let me just switch it. Do you know Alexander's favorite food?
I think I do.
All right, let's find out. He's open to refusing or accepting that it is correct.
Even though he says that he doesn't like njai, but I think he does like samaki from the lake and some ugali.
But that pretty much sounds obvious. Is it because he's Odhiambo that you fell on that one? Or is it true?
He got it wrong.
He got it wrong. You guys are partners and you do not know what your partner eats.
I'm a rice and beans guy.
Oh my goodness, R&B. See, sir, you need to do your homework on your partner. Let's now, try it out with you. What kind of music does he like? What's his favorite genre of music?
Rumba.
That's very easy.
That's too easy.
Rumba and benga.
Okay, because that was easy. I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes each to ask your partner one of the toughest questions you haven't asked him in the few years that you have been working together, right now on air.
You go first.
So, Alexander, if you're not at Solutech, where would you be and what would you be doing?
Wow. If I was not at Solutech, I think I would be a doctor, a gynecologist.
A gynecologist? Now you get to know. You've never asked him this question ever since.
Yeah. And so what are your plans for Solutech in maybe the next 5 years or 10 years?
So the next, let me even give you the next 3 years. We will be still the biggest name in terms of retail distribution automation. As I say nowadays that we are the backbone of retail distribution, so we are looking at now spreading all over Africa and probably getting to a couple of $1 million in terms of revenue. And just making an impact for all the whole team that we work with at Solutech, and even bringing more and more people on board to just transform their lives.
Amazing. Now the CEO gets to actually interview you on a show that has a host. And I'm going to allow you again 2 minutes yourself to then ask him questions you probably haven't asked him and you have thought I should, but now today here's the opportunity to ask him 2 questions.
What's your biggest regret so far?
In life?
Yes.
I think not having started Solutech earlier, because I think we have a lot of potential and we could have gone far, and we're still heading far, but sometimes I don't really like looking at the regrets, because they're supposed to act as a learning curve for you, and the earlier you put that behind, the better for you to be able to advance to the next stage.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right.
What's your biggest motivation to continue pushing this?
I would say poverty. but poverty is just one of the motivations.
Yeah.
But I think the passion that you have for the business, the number of staff who depend on us on a daily basis. Actually, sometimes I just tell my wife that because she complains a lot that sometimes you spend too much time in the office, but when you realize the amount of people depend on you, that if you fail for a moment, that will not have salaries at the end of the month, they'll put their families in jeopardy, then you have to push yourself to that extra limit.
I like that, and I was going to come to, please give a shout out to your partners again, if they're watching.
Yeah.
So they know they're in this with you, and then we're going to
Yes.
come into the illustrations, guys. So grab your phones or your laptops. We're going tech with Solutech shortly. Please give a shout out to the rest of the
Good.
partners.
Special shout out to Raid Arif. He's a very, very shy guy. I know he's on his laptop.
I'll bring him on set.
You need to bring him
you
on
should.
set. Yeah, very amazing guy, very dedicated, very knowledgeable. And a very big shout out also to Jinal. Jinal, acted as our mentor and still our mentor. And he's really, really supported, and he's doing an amazing job. So we appreciate both of you.
Great. I cannot say much more, guys. It's just that you are quite an inspiration, a group of young men, talking about mentorship, employing people, not giving up, not looking at the regrets, and saying it can be an idea, but together you can be quite a huge force, and you can then impact more than 8 countries with just what was an idea. Can you please show us how to log in, probably how to, I don't know, find it? Is Solutech?
Solutech SAT.
Trust me, they will zoom it.
Yeah.
Just do what you got to do, we'll zoom it.
So as I do this, probably, so that we don't get into trouble, shout out to Team Solutech.
Oh,
yes,
the
I know they
entire
must be
team.
following this. So a shout out to all of you. Nyinyi ni watu wa maana. Yeah. So this side?
Just, they will follow us, so yes, that side is okay.
Okay, so this application, for you to have it, you have to be working with one of our clients.
Okay.
So you don't just get it on Play Store and you sign up and you start using it. So it's a very simple application, and one of the benefits it gives salespeople is they get to know what their targets are and how they are performing at a real-time basis. So every day, I'll just show a few things. So here it shows your targets in terms of today I'm supposed to visit 30 customers. I've not visited any, and we don't have any that have bought. Today I'm supposed to sell 500,000, and my performance is still 0%. My current stock value in my vehicle is 92,000. My cash at hand is 6,950. Then we have my coverage, we have my success rate. I think people who are in sales understand this more. Then we have a very powerful metric down here called customer performance. You can have like 500 customers, but how do you make sure that you're consistent in terms of visiting them and selling to them? So this app really keeps you on toes to make sure that if you have 500 customers or 300 customers in your route plan, you visit all of them in a specific cycle. So every day they start their day, the app greets you in the morning, even if nobody greeted you.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Yeah, it tells you, hello, Alex, it's 9:50. Your battery level is 65%, not so good. Your GPS accuracy is 20. We use Google a lot in terms of what we use on this particular app. Today, you are supposed to go to Wayakiwe, and it asks you, are you okay? Is everything okay? You just say yes. Then
So
you start your day.
You actually converse with it.
Yes,
Okay.
somehow.
Somehow.
So the start date that I've done is like the biometric you do in the morning. Now, no matter how many salespeople a company has, they know how many people have started working today. And we also have an option where if you want them to take selfies in the morning, for you to just see how good they're looking, you can do that.
Presentable.
Yes. So I might not go through everything because we
Yes.
have more than 100 modules here that do different things.
But they sure can find that on your social media?
Yes, yes.
So
So
is
if you
it-
go to solutech.co.ke, you will get to see what the application does. If you go to our website, you go to our Instagram or Facebook page, Solutech Limited, all of them, you'll get to see all that. So just on the application, you're able to manage your stock, you're able to do your sales, you're able to print even with the KRA printer while you're in the field.
Great.
We are able to run loyalty programs. And one exciting thing is we have one partner called Pesesha. Just allow me to mention them. led by there's a lady called Hilda Mora,
Finally,
who's the CEO of the company. I can say she's part of our team somewhat because we are partners, and we use their service for what we call merchant financing. So when you go to the field and a customer does not have money, you can just ask them, do we give you a loan? And you can get an instant loan so for you to get your products.
So it's not just what we saw. That was a tip of an, that was just the icing on the cake. There's so much, spice, sugar and everything nice that makes business fun, less stressful. And my boss would say productivity.
Productivity.
So you're actually making all these businesses productive, not just for themselves, but for the employees and for me. Thank you very much for what you do, gentlemen. We hope to have you again. Do follow-ups as you move to the countries that we are, planning to move to.
Yes.
And remember to put on, Kenyan ties when you go to this. When you go to these interviews in Europe, you put on the Kenyan tie, and we'll be proud to also say those are our men doing amazing things. Thank you so much for gracing the show.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed yourself.
We've enjoyed ourselves.
At least now you know his regrets, yeah?
Now I know.
And now you know what he eats.
Yeah.
And of course, for watching, I want to appreciate you all for being part of the conversation, including Mike Allo, saying amazing work, guys. Thank you for the hashtagging you've been doing on Twitter, our family on LinkedIn, and of course, all of you who have been keeping me company with the gentleman doing a lot on Solutech. I come in with Simba just to ask him what he has learned today, and as we close the show, we'll be right back.
Are you looking to turn your passion to purpose? Vera Beauty and Fashion College now brings you online classes at the comfort of your home. We are a TVET-approved institution with over 20 years' experience in training competency-based courses in fashion design and creative arts, cosmetology, hairdressing, beauty therapy, interior design in soft furnishings, event decoration and flower arrangement, hospitality and catering, and training of trainers. To enroll, call us today on 0704 577 577 or visit our website at www.verabeautycollege.com. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, a center of excellence.
Help me identify a beautiful woman. I never came across one till I got to Vera.
Pastors, seminary students, and congregation members who are attending Shincheonji online seminar, Testimony on the Revelation of the Old and New Testaments by Chapter, it is nice to meet you. My name is Tan Youngjin, and I'll be your host today.
Men are very well organized. No?
Wanawake anasumbua.
Wanawake unajua wako na sijui naweza sema ni nini, lakini wako na kujipenda kiasi. Kwa hiyo unaweza kuwa unambeba anakaa ni kama anataka kuegemea pande moja, lakini mwanaume ukimbeba ametulia.